Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shamira Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today we are talking how do we grow fall tomatoes. Because if you guys have never grown tomatoes in the fall, it is worth it. Even if it's just worth it, just so that you don't have the hornworms that eat your plants and are scary. Okay guys, so hopefully things aren't too loud. We have the painters are in the building behind me and doing some touch-up paint. So they have ladders and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of cold out here. So first and foremost, it is our anniversary. Well, yesterday was me and Mr. Benson's anniversary. Super excited. We are actually celebrating today. So that's why I'm getting this short video up pretty early. But thank you guys for all of the anniversary wishes. I really appreciate that. On my post yesterday, some of you guys asked what you could get us for anniversary, and here's some ideas. We are trying to grow the channel, so just go to any of my past videos and say happy anniversary in the comments, or just watch it or give it a thumbs up, or just share a video out, and that would be an amazing gift for us. Or if you want, you could buy us a cup of coffee, because we also like coffee. So in the description down below I put a link for a share a cup of coffee. But you actually don't have to get us anything. Just your presence being here is enough for us. So let's talk tomatoes, because when I first started my garden, I grew tomatoes in the hottest part of the summer, because that's when everybody else on YouTube grew tomatoes. That's not what we should be doing as desert gardeners, and here's why. I'm filming this in between ladder shifts. So reason number one, it can get up to 120 degrees here in the desert. Reason number two, it can get up to 120 degrees here in the desert. None of that is conducive for tomatoes. So you either grow them in the fall and or in the spring and try and get as many as you can before they start exploding from the heat, or you grow them in the fall and you overwinter your tomatoes for a huge early spring harvest, which is what I like to do. One that avoids any type of hornworms. I don't like the look of hornworms. I think that they're gross and they get disgustingly huge, so I don't like them. So that gets rid of that, and then also it makes it to where the plant just grows happy. Like, it doesn't have blight issues, all those different things it doesn't have. But there are a couple things that you want to do in order to get them ready for that. So I have two different gloves. I don't know if you guys do the same thing where you'll take off one glove and then lose it. But for me, I have a bucket of like one gloves. I don't know where the pair of those gloves are. But anyways, let's go look at the tomatoes. Okay guys, so for today's example, we are going to use my black cherry tomatoes since it is the craziest in my garden. We also have Aroma hiding over there. We have Yuli hiding over there. We don't know what Yuli is. And then we also have a big beefsteak hiding over there. So first things first is we want to make sure that the plant is healthy. And you guys remember all of those leaves that were struggling in the beginning because it was so hot when we started this plant? We want to take those leaves off. So anything pretty much from like here below, we are going to remove. We also don't want any of like the plants, like, so for example, if you're looking at this one, so for example, this one right here, as you can see, there are three kind of stems coming off of it. This one is the leaf stem, just extra growth that you can cut off at will. This one is your main stem right here, and this one is your sucker. Your sucker will grow into basically like a whole new plant, essentially. So if you want to have a lot of tomatoes, then you can keep several of your suckers and it'll grow a lot of fruiting notes. Your fruiting notes only grow on your suckers and your main stem, not on just the leaf ones, okay? So when you're removing, I like to remove any suckers and leaves from the very bottom because I don't want any of those leaves having splashback on them. And then also I like to remove any suckers that kind of are in the way, okay? So first and foremost, we're just gonna remove the bottom. So squirrel moment, guys. I just realized I have green beans coming in. That's exciting. So anyways, I cleaned up the entire bottom of that, and now I'm gonna move my Mighty Crop up just a little bit to where it gets to this node right here. This is the first sucker that I am going to let grow, and I'm going to move this up so that then it just has more structure to it, or to be able to hold it better. Okay guys, so here are some important things to note. One, the sucker will actually turn into another plant. So as you guys can see, there's like little hair-like little things along the stem. Those are actual roots. So if you just take off some of these like bottom leaves like this, stick this in some water, it'll grow roots, and then you can grow a whole new plant. So if you had any issues with any of your growth or any of that on your other plants, and maybe you lost a plant or something like that, grow it from one of these, like grow a new plant from one of these, because it will give you way more of a head start than starting another seed, and your plant will be a lot stronger because this has already been growing outside. I'm actually probably going to grow 2 of these black cherry tomatoes because I have the space. My cucumbers died, so I think that I'm going to root one of these, and then you guys can follow that process. Now sometimes you cut down a big one like this one. So super sad, but it's okay. Don't want those starts, or you don't want those suckers starting from a really low point, because then that's going to make your bush way too bushy, like your tomato plant. It's going to be insanely bushy, and it's going to be hard to kind of maintain where it's going and keeping it healthy. So that's fine. Also, the other thing I wanted to show you guys is, let me grab one of these leaves. Mine weren't too bad, but I'm looking for leaves that were kind of like diseased and stuff like that. So see, these ones are kind of like diseased and tore up. That's because when we originally started this plant, it was super hot, and yes, there were hornworms and there was like everything in life trying to eat it, but we just battled through. We let it grow out, so now the top growth is completely healthy, and we want to take off that lower growth, or that lower like ate up plant, because we don't want the plant wasting its energy on trying to keep that part alive when it has to get through the winter. So the next thing we want to do, now that we have the bottom cleaned up, is we want to start taming this plant. You don't want things like this to happen. You see this bend? What that's going to do is restrict the water from getting to these leaves down here. And when it gets really cold, we're going to need there to be no restriction, because we want the water to get really into all of those leaves to keep them nice and stiff when they have to go through like a light frost. So what we're going to do is we're going to grow these up our arches. If you guys have been here for a while, you have seen my black cherry tomatoes growing up my arches. They're absolutely beautiful. They grow all the way to over there, and this one grows all the way to probably about right there, and it is just gorgeous. So what we're going to use to do that are these tomato clips that I got from the Dollar Tree. These things are amazing. If you guys don't have them, make sure you get some the next time that the Dollar Tree has them. You can also get them on Amazon too. I can link that down below if you guys can't find them at Dollar Tree. But let's get to clipping. Okay, so for the most part, I have it clipped up. I am going to adjust my Mighty Crop a little bit, this top one, just to give it a little bit better structure. And now I'm also looking for any leaves up here that look a little messed up, like this one has some paint splatter, or these ones just got wrecked. So I'm going to take these extra ones off. If you guys didn't know, the black cherry tomato kind of likes to climb on things too. So it kind of wraps itself around different situations like that. So it'll do that in these wires. So as long as you kind of get it where like this one is growing in here, and then it grew up there, and then it'll kind of weave itself in and out. It'll kind of do that. So if you start young with it, it's easier to train it. The other thing you want to know is you don't want to be doing this when it's already really cold outside. So you want to start training it to where it's going to be what it's going to be by the time it gets really cold. The same thing of how we started it early, because we wanted it to have some good like footing to it. You want to do the same thing before it gets really cold. So I suggest starting to train it and kind of trim it before like it reaches down to like 50 degrees. You guys see my garden friends? I can't do anything in the garden without them yelling at me. These are the hummingbirds. Okay, and that's what it looks like. Yes, we did cut off a lot of the bushiness, but don't be alarmed. It is going to grow back. Tomatoes are one of the fastest growing plants ever, I swear. Now, I did leave a lot of the suckers, like these ones right here. Once those grow out, I'm then going to train those to grow up on either side of those, like the edges of the arch. And then I let some of the suckers grow in the back because we can fill in this area back here. If one grows out here, like this one right here, I'm going to try and weave that through the back to then balance out the mighty crop, like the weight of the mighty crop. But for right now, all we did was clip in those and we're going to let it grow. The central stalk, the main one, I try to take it to the top of this. As you guys can see, I did that there, and then I will let that one spill over. It'll probably split sometime soon here, and one will go that way, one will go that way. But we just need a little bit more growth on it so that then we can continue training it up the arches. And that is it. Just continue to do that. Once it gets to about that 50-degree mark, though, you guys want to stop cutting on it. Just let it be what it's going to be, and I'm pretty sure it'll be great. So I'm excited to be growing the black cherry tomato again. We had a year of no black cherry tomato, which was hard for us because that is like everything. Like, we love black cherry tomatoes for sun-dried tomatoes, for seasonings, for everything we use black cherry tomatoes for. So it's important to have it in our garden, and yeah, we're gonna continue to let it grow. I'm excited. We're going out on our anniversary adventure right now, so I'm gonna let you guys go. But until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.